Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. You join us at Penzance Seafront. We thought we'd pop out, get one last long run in before the Classic Quarter, which is next weekend. We also thought we'd take this opportunity to highlight a new series that we're bringing to the channel. So we're going to be doing a series called Running with Local Legends. So the whole point of the series is to try and showcase some of the amazing talent that we have down in Cornwall, whether it be runners, triathletes, swimmers. We've got some wicked talent and some super athletes. So we're going to go for a bit of a training run with them, a bit of a social run, do a bit of an interview so that you can get to know these guys a bit better on the channel. So yeah, we thought it'd be a really good thing to bring to the channel to highlight some of these Neil! Well, that's a spot of luck.
Hello, mate. How you doing?
Awesome, good to see you. Well, that was a good coincidence. This is Neil Eddy. He is a super talented local triathlete. So let's go for a run and we'll find out more about him. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, he's also ITU long course world champion. We are out on the beautiful pavements of Penzance, running up to Mousel. Just want to welcome Neil to the channel, and obviously big thanks Neil for coming out, giving us your time.
Oh, thanks for having
Having a bit of a chat, find out what's going on, introduce you to the viewers. How's things going, mate? How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. Had a big couple of days, so feeling a bit tired at the moment, but when the weather comes out like this, you can't complain in these views.
So Neil, I've known Neil for a long time. I would loosely say that I've raced against him a few times because I wasn't really anywhere near him, but we've been in the same races a few times. Super talented athlete, proper down to earth, really dedicated. So I suppose the first question would be, how did you get involved in triathlon in the first place, Neil? What was, how did it all start for you?
I've always been very sporty from a young age, competed in a lot of different sports, and swimming was my main background, but it was never really the thing that I took most serious. I did a lot of team sports, and that's what I was kind of pushing myself at, and my mum sort of got me involved, trying to do a couple of little races as well, and a couple of my friends that were doing it at the time.
What sort of age were you in?
I was probably about 18 when I did my first couple.
I thought it was younger than that.
Yeah, well, I kind of, there wasn't really much around.
No,
there wasn't as many races as there are now, and that pathway of things and knowing things as well. Like we used to go out and do like a 12-mile cycle. I think we've gone a long way.
Yeah. Which, you know, 12 miles is...
Yeah.
Still quite a long way.
Yeah. When you're training to compete a little bit, but
yeah.
I probably did it as a hobby like people do now.
Yeah.
Kind of turn up, just do a race, and then maybe not train till the following summer, and then maybe go out for a run once or twice and then do another race.
Okay, sure.
And then it was a few years later, probably when I finished uni, that I thought, oh, maybe if I trained a little bit in the winter and stuff, then I might actually be alright at this.
Yeah. And you definitely turned out to be pretty good at it. So Neil has just become, I'll let you say it because it's a bit of a tongue twister.
ITU long course world champion. I was the fastest amateur athlete in Run4Adventure in Spain. A couple of weeks back.
A pretty impressive performance, mate. You got to be over the moon with that one.
Oh, super stoked. I was planning to try and compete for the win leading up to the race, and then I had a few niggles and bad injuries to the point where I thought I actually wasn't going to be able to race.
Wow.
And I had a calf injury like a month before, then 10 days out from the race, I literally couldn't sit up out of bed. My girlfriend had to put me up out of bed, and I had injuries that I kind of thought was all internal organs and stuff, and yeah,
pretty serious stuff there.
It was pretty complicated, but then come to find out it was a lot of psoas and my back and stuff that needed loosening, but I still didn't know that at the time. I just took it super easy, got to race day, and didn't know if I'd even be able to finish the race.
Wow. So a pretty amazing outcome with the build up you had then.
Yeah, absolutely. it's the first time ever that they've shortened the swim, and I've kind of almost been happy because a few days before, like a few arm pulls in the swimming pool was enough for me. At the time I couldn't do any more. So when they shortened the swim to half because it's so cold in the river, I was like, I might actually pay my favourite for once.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not, is it, am I right, it's not the first time you've been world champion in triathlon? Or?
Yeah, I won the Olympic distance world champs.
Okay, right.
2014 in Canada.
Amazing.
And then I stepped up in distance after that.
Yeah.
And I've been racing half Ironmans and Ironman since.
And do you feel the longer stuff suits you better, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've always had like an engine, I think, from doing so much sport from a young age.
Yeah.
And always been so active, and I've never, you know, even my parents never used to say I never have a night off. I'd always have something to do. Yeah. I'd always be going somewhere.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. He trains bloody hard.
I think it helps. Like now, so, you know, I used to go from swimming across, get out 5 minutes early to go across to play hockey for an hour and a half. Or
That's it. You build up a good base, don't you?
Build that engine.
You know, ever since I've known Neil, always worked hard, dedicated. You know, super hard on his training. So obviously, not being a pro athlete, having to work as well. How do you balance, you know, your work life, family life, and you know the volume of training that you do?
I think it's a hard balance for anyone who's just entering their first race to trying to compete at the top end. It's always going to be a juggling act, and I don't always get it right.
Yeah.
But I think my dedication, and sometimes people say about sacrifice, but I don't see it as a sacrifice because it's something that I want to do.
Yeah, sure.
So you might miss family events or functions or things.
Yeah, but it's not like you're being forced to do it.
No, that's my choice. But just maximising time, fitting in training around work.
And what's your, just so everybody knows, what do you do for a living?
So I'm a PE teacher by
perfect job.
Yeah.
Good role model for the kids.
But I do a lot of sports events for schools. So I run school games events in Penwith. So there's about 5 secondary schools, 30 primary schools, and we run a lot of sports events for them, and from athletics to swimming to, and our aim is just to try and get more young different people competing, having those opportunities and enjoying sport really, and trying to get lifelong participants out of it really.
Yeah, awesome. And are they pretty flexible when it comes to racing and travelling?
Super supportive with the level I compete at. We've got a great task of working with some really talented pupils at school as well, that are high performance athletes as well.
So coaching, I know you've had a coach recently, well not recently, over the last few years, and it seems to have had, you know, massive impact on your racing, definitely your running. You know, you've definitely got a lot stronger in the running department over the last few years. So who is your coach?
So my coach is Joel Jameson. He's an ex-pro triathlete himself. You know, super athlete, and we've been working together since 2014 really. So it's just after I won the age group world champs, Olympic distance, and it was something that we decided to work together, and we've got a lot, you know, quite a lot in common. We're both quite laid back with things, and we've got a great working relationship.
Yeah,
we understand each other.
Seems like you've got a good relationship, which is always crucial, isn't it, with a coach?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think especially going into that longer stuff, people can really overcook themselves or underprepare themselves. It's having someone there that knows your body almost as good as you do, with the training numbers and what you're putting in, and kind of telling you when to rein it in or trying to push on a little bit.
And are you regularly in contact with him?
Yeah, we're probably not as much as some people do with coaches. Just little messages here and there that kind of do it, and I think because I've got a lot of knowledge myself, and I can just crack on with it. But you'll always be checking in, and how did that feel? Or, you know, good session, and you can look at it online, and a lot of triathletes use a training platform online. It's called Training Peaks. And there's a few others out there as well, but we kind of use that. So he sets my training for the next couple of weeks, and then I just go on there each day and
that's cool,
and tick them off.
Yeah, that's wicked. I suppose it helps having, if you're a coach, having an athlete that when he knows he's set you something, you go out and you do it.
Yeah, absolutely. 90% of the time. Occasionally, like I say, with work, you might have to just I've swapped tomorrow and today around to this. But otherwise, you know,
still got to be a bit of flexibility.
And we're always trying to improve. You know, same for this year. It's like, what can we do differently to improve together? As you know, very much it is part of being a team and making that progress together.
So he's talking about coaching and training and what's in store for Neil Eddy this year? What's your goals? What are you aiming for? What are you training for?
We, once we got vacation at the start of the year, kind of know that I've got performance in me. In flying Kona, for those that don't know, it's the World Championships. It's got a lot of history there. It's been going for 40 years.
Also, for people who don't know, obviously Neil's been to Kona before. How did you get on the previous years? What was the?
Yeah, so I've definitely learned the hard way. Being on the island, as people explain, it's like a climate like no other. It's so hot and humid that the run's so difficult, and I definitely got my nutrition wrong the first year. And after 5 miles of the run, I was in a strong position, podium position, and then I had to start walking. And actually, if I was anywhere else in the world, I wouldn't have finished that race. I was in a bad way. I managed to regroup, get some nutrition on, and keep going. And eventually, the back end of the run, I was running okay again.
And you still had a pretty good performance.
Yeah, it was solid. It was it was only my second Ironman. And,
second Ironman.
So. Most people go there having done a few races.
It's not bad for your second Ironman being in Kona. That's not a bad effort.
So then I qualified last year. Things didn't go quite to plan in Lanzarote in a race, and I was trying to qualify and I didn't quite get there. It was just a real strong competitive field, and I ran a 2:52 marathon in Lanzarote, and I still managed to just finishing outside the qualifying spot. So
you did a 2:52
off the bike, I didn't realise that. But I did bike like a bit of a muppet that day as well, so probably helped the running legs and the anger inside.
That's an impressive run time.
Yeah, so then a few weeks later I did an Artillo race on the Artillo, and then I went to Bolton and raced Ironman Bolton. And my Ironman Bolton, I was the fastest age grouper, and I was beating a lot of professional athletes, and kind of finished high up again and had a solid result, and qualified for Kona last year. And I got there and I finished well inside the top 10 of my age group, and had a solid finish. But I was up to about second place at one stage on the run, and
I was tracking you, saw that.
And but then after 10 miles of the run, that's when I had to start managing the heat and my body again, and make sure that I didn't walk as much as the year before.
Your running has gone through the roof.
Yeah, my run can compete alongside the pro athletes in a way. I know it's a different race at times, but
and what do you put that down to? Because when you were competing in the shorter sort of Olympic distance, obviously you're still a good runner, but your running just seemed to spike massively. And then you did a 2:34, was it, in London?
2:34, yeah. So the year I qualified for Kona, we decided like a good benchmark at the start of the year was to do London Marathon. And without having a coach, without having Joel, I wouldn't have been running a 2:34 marathon at that time of the year as well, without going into it. So it's definitely having that coach's accountability and someone to push you through and give you some of those sessions you wouldn't necessarily do.
A bit more structure in your training when it came to your running.
100%. I was so much more structured than I was before, and it was maximising the time rather than having a few of those like laid back sessions. You've got the coach there thinking I've got to hit those numbers, he's set the session, let's do it. And it certainly helped.
So Kona this year, obviously you got to qualify first, but again you're going to be gunning for that podium.
100%. I think people always said to me, because they know how competitive I am, if you get the podium, you're still going to go back until you win, though, probably. And I was like, well, probably, but if I know I've hit my A race and I finished second, third, fourth, or whatever, but I have absolutely nailed myself and had the perfect race, and everything's gone to plan, which it's very rare to ever happen, but
especially if
there's always, if you're near on 99% perfect race, then I'll be quite happy to kind of move on to another target and set some new goals maybe, and do a few races that I can't currently do because I'm trying to qualify for Kona and stuff again this year.
Talking about your coaching and adding more structure to your running, what would be an average training week for Mr. Eddy? How many hours? How would you break it up into swim, run, bike?
A typical week would be anywhere between 15 to 19 hours, I'd say, on an average week. But you know, that can fluctuate. Like this week I've had some holiday, so I've done sort of around 22 hours, maximise some more bike time. And then pre-season we're doing like a training camp, we'll be up to like 28 hours.
Pretty much a pro athlete's training.
For a couple of weeks. And but when you're away and you haven't got any other things to do, and you're in a hotel and your food's cooked and your recovery's so much. So I average probably 3 swims a week, 4 to 5 runs. And then this year probably about 5 bikes, because it used to be like 3 or 4, but we tried to work on the weakness a little bit, which is my bike, which isn't. I'm not a weak rider.
I wouldn't call it weak. No. I mean, that's what I've noticed with you is, you know, knowing a lot of triathletes and having done triathlons and Ironman myself, you know, you're super consistent over, you know, there's not really a weak element to racing.
No,
not as much as a lot of guys, you know.
No, there's not necessarily a weak one, and people always ask that what's your strongest bit, or you know, and I've built that confidence from coaching for the last few years that actually I'm confident when I get on that run. That I can start taking back time off people if needs be.
Which is a massive.
No, Ironman, and it's the same for ultra runs and other things. You've got to run your own race.
100%.
And just know that someone might be overtaking you 5 minutes in front of you, but those 5 minutes can soon go quickly. When someone starts tying up,
someone starts crawling, you soon you can soon make them 5 minutes up.
So it's trusting your own race really, but just working on the bike to kind of maybe make the run a bit stronger as well. Kind of balancing things out.
So a bit more efficient on the bike, so you got more in your legs when you get off. So I can see on the back of your jersey we got Team Free Speed. So that's been a recent thing that you've joined Team Free Speed?
Yeah, I feel very privileged to be part of the team this year. Racing alongside some great athletes and some really nice people, and it was something that I applied to be on. And it was just nice to be part of a team, you know. We try out in different ways at times, but not necessarily quite as
maybe not to this level.
This level, and in an individual sport it's nice to have that team aspect.
Definitely.
And we've got some great support, and the team established I think sort of 2010 with a lot of like-minded people that were racing in Kona and just trying to get a collective platform and stuff and get together, and they've had some great results over the years, so hopefully I can give the team some good results this year.
And how do they support you as an athlete? What do they?
We've got some great support with Walker, and we're privileged to go down to Nice this year, and after I won the World Championships a few days after the race I was down in Nice and going around the 70.3 course with my teammates. And
was that the first time you met up with them?
It was the first time I met them, and
as a world champion.
And
it's got to be pretty good.
It was good to have the
pretty good way to meet your team.
Bring the result in for the team as well. And they were great with it, and we had like some nice bubbles and stuff for us when we arrived, and real nice touch, you know. We've got some great support, and with Walker, Precision Hydration and Cliff Bar, and you need that with the amount of training I done. And the stuff I've done today. If I didn't have those Cliff Bars to get through today, I think I'd be dying of death right now. But it's definitely great to have that support.
And we'll leave all links in the description below on obviously Neil's website, so you can go and check him out. Team Free Speed, you know, all the people we're talking about. We'll leave a link. You can tell I'm out of breath. Neil isn't. It's a different level, but we'll leave all them links. So if you want to go and check it out, find out a bit more about people who are supporting him or about Neil himself, get down, click on, have a look. You've done a few miles up and down here, mate.
Oh mate, done some efforts on here.
Neil does a lot of his training along here. You'll see him out here frequently, getting the miles in.
And if I'm walking, it means I'm resting. Not because I'm dying a day.
That is a little bit of information about Neil, what he's up to, where he started in the sport. We are getting towards the end of this run, so we're going to be doing a few more local athletes over the next coming months. Thanks very much, Neil, for being the first one on the channel.
Great to be on. Thanks very much. Thanks for the chat.
Really wanted to highlight Neil. Super dedicated, like I said. You know, he's put so much into the sport. Locally, a really well known, really well liked, really well respected athlete. So always good to showcase local talent on the channel. So everybody at Run4Adventure, mate, wishing you the best for this season.
No, thanks for all the support as well.
No problem. And go and grab that podium at Kona, mate.
Try to, mate. Try
to. You are more than ready for that, that's for sure. Well done, mate. Cheers, Neil. Thanks. We are back from an awesome afternoon with Neil Eddy. Once again, massive thanks to Neil for coming out and giving up some of his time out of his busy, hectic schedule. Really hope you enjoyed the first episode in the series Running with Local Legends. It was a bit of a learning curve, this first episode. We've learnt a lot of things. First thing, audio. We need to get a better external mic. Secondly, we need to run somewhere quieter. So we're really sorry for all the background noise in the interview. We really hope it doesn't spoil it for you guys. Hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about Neil Eddy. If you want to find out more, there'll be a link in the description. Click that link, please go and check him out. He's a top guy. If you like the video, guys, please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Any comments you've got, get them down below. We'll try and get back to you about them. Before we go, just want to say a massive thanks to everyone. We have hit 1,000 subscribers at Run4Adventure. Super happy about that. I know it's only 1,000, but it's a real milestone for the channel. So thanks very much, guys. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more episodes of Running with Local Legends. And as always on Run4Adventure, stay safe and keep on running.